In the mildewing heart of the humble Midwest, Elijah Underwood drove his aging car down the tree-lined pathways of Chesterfield. The town, quaint and quiet, bore a postcard-like charm that hung in the air like an old friend's cologne. Elijah, an old journalist with scars of persistence etched across his visage, was not here for pleasantries. A complex knot of curiosity and apprehension, knitted together by years of chasing stories and shadowy truths, pulled him toward the centerpiece of his current intrigue, a burgeoning local school and its charismatic shepherd. Elijah was a man acquainted with the unadorned corners of life, his past an unrequested ballad of poverty and struggle. Beneath his stoic exterior, a generous spirit burned fiercely, fueled by the shadows of the past that shaped him. His stomach rumbled, whispering the memories of hunger and the ambition that sprang from it. His past was not something he sought to forget. Instead, it spurred him, each echoing pang a reminder of why he remained persistently on the hunt, braving the mires of the unknown. Entering Chesterfield Preparatory, he found himself observing a world startlingly removed from his own past. The school, its pupils emanating an almost eerie sense of purpose, thrummed with an energy that belied the town's gentle demeanor. Students, sharp as tack and twice as determined, scurried between classes. Their eyes held a curious spark, like stars glimpsed through a telescope, distant, mysterious, and implacably enticing. Reverend Hale, the enigmatic religious leader tethered intimately to the school's success, welcomed him with a disarming smile. A man of charisma, the Reverend moved with a grace that made the air around him hum, like a needle tracing the grooves of an old record. "Elijah Underwood, we've been expecting you," the Reverend said, his voice a measured cadence of warmth and authority. Their conversation, while civil, veiled an uneasy dance of intrigue and suspicion. "Your school's progress is remarkable, Reverend. Exceptional, even for private standards," Elijah said, his journalist instinct scanning the man's every response. "All thanks to divine guidance, my dear man. Faith can make miracles happen," Hale replied, his grin as inviting as it was cryptic. As Elijah navigated the labyrinth of his investigation, he shared meals with the community, studied the dynamic of their sermons, the smiles, the unity. There was an idyllic rhythm to Chesterfield that was hypnotic and somehow disquieting. He began noticing oddities. Reverend Hale's shadow seemed to disobey the laws of light. His hold over the townsfolk felt transcendental, and his absence at night was a mystery that gnawed at his mind. As he documented the silent symphony of anomalies, his old typewriter served as his solitary confidant. An anticipation began to build in him, a crescendo in the quiet town's symphony that he could not yet decipher. But he knew, as the sun set on Chesterfield, casting long, twisted shadows that danced in the cooling breeze, that he had only begun to uncover the truth that lurked beneath its placid surface. In the labyrinth of Chesterfield's charm, Elijah meandered further, losing himself in the honeyed rhythm of the town's routine. His mornings, fragrant with the waft of fresh pastries from Mrs. O'Connell's bakery, were spent observing the townsfolk and their tranquil existence. Their lives wove an elaborate tapestry around Reverend Hale, their devotion to him taking on an almost divine hue. His journalistic instincts wrestled with his curiosity, his skepticism trading blows with the sight of undiluted faith on the townsfolk's faces. The charm of Chesterfield was a song, its melody hypnotic, inviting him to shed his city-dweller skepticism, while its lyrics carried a dissonance that kept him grounded in the world he knew, a world of tangible facts, not miracles. "Chesterfield seems to sleep under a lucky star, Reverend," Elijah voiced his thoughts during one of their meetings. "Or perhaps under an attentive shepherd," the Reverend returned, a cryptic light dancing in his eyes. His every interaction with the Reverend served as a glimpse into the enigma the man was, captivating and yet subtly unsettling. As daylight waned, the town's serenity deepened, and the absence of the Reverend at night bore an increasingly ominous resonance. The dissonance that the town song carried began to grow louder, creeping into his observations and seeping into his dreams. One evening, under a waning crescent, he found himself wandering the school grounds. The cool marble of the school building, shrouded in silence, seemed to hum a dirge under his fingertips. The disquiet in his heart echoed in the empty classrooms and vacant playgrounds, lending a spectral air to the otherwise buoyant school. Under the dim radiance of the moon, he stumbled upon a bizarre spectacle, a strange play of shadows cast by the Reverend's office window. An eerie luminescence seeped from the window, twisting and warping the Reverend's silhouette in an uncanny dance that bore no resemblance to the movements of a mortal man. Unsure of what he had witnessed, his unease grew, like ivy in the cracks of an ancient wall. With every uncanny event, the veil of verity seemed to lift slightly, hinting at a reality that felt foreign, yet inexplicably connected. As he walked back to his lodgings, he could not shake off the unsettling vision of the Reverend's distorted shadow. Sleep eluded him, his mind spinning a tale far more intricate and cryptic than the initial whispers that led him to Chesterfield. By the break of dawn, he knew that the secrets he sought were not going to unfold as easily as a well-worn newspaper page. This truth was a lock, and he would have to turn the key gently, persistently, aligning the pins of reality and illusion in order to find the truth hidden in the bowels of Chesterfield. The true story, he knew, was only beginning to reveal itself. The hushed whispers of Chesterfield grew louder in Elijah's mind as echoes from a forgotten past rippled through his waking thoughts. His investigative pursuit wore on his bones, nights blending into days as he began treading the nebulous line between reality and the supernatural. One day, an accidental discovery led him to a hidden room in the school's basement, a cryptic sanctum, its air laden with an energy that made his skin prickle. The room was filled with a strange tableau, stones arranged in peculiar patterns, cryptic symbols etched on the floor, and an air so heavy it felt as though it carried the weight of the cosmos. His heart raced as he uncovered the hidden lore of the school and Reverend Hale. It wasn't simply charisma or divine guidance that powered the Reverend's influence. It was a conduit of sorts, a channel connecting this small corner of the earth to beings from another realm. His every discovery, every fragment of evidence, was a breadcrumb in the cosmic trail. A hidden dimension, a dark echo of their own, seemed to be woven into Chesterfield's reality. The children's unusual academic performance, the town's unwavering faith in Reverend Hale, all began to make a terrifying sense. He was on the precipice of a truth so profound, so shattering, it could unhinge the fabric of his world. In one disturbing encounter, he chanced upon the Reverend in deep conversation with a figure shrouded in shadow, a presence that was not wholly there, flickering on the edge of reality like a broken hologram, a traveler from the dark dimension. He was overwhelmed by an ancient dread, one that screamed of a reality too monstrous to behold. The nights became a battleground of his traumas and fears. Dreams of his poverty-ridden childhood seeped into his reality, melding with the terrifying visions of the shadowy figures. His past, once a distant memory, resurfaced with newfound vigor, reminding him of his pursuit of a better life. The temptation of knowledge, power, and security, which this alien influence promised, began to tinge his resolve. His thoughts, once a cohesive flow of journalistic analysis, spiraled into a tempestuous whirlpool of cosmic horror and childhood trauma. The weight of his discoveries bore down on him, like the unforgiving gravity of a black hole, twisting the simple charm of Chesterfield into a dread-laced labyrinth. In this swirling darkness, he stood alone, wrestling with his understanding of the universe and his place within it. As the dawn crept over the horizon, he found himself standing on a precipice, staring down into the abyss. The abyss not just of his own past, but also of the future he was entwining himself with. Chesterfield was not just a small town in Missouri anymore. It was the stage for an age-old dance between light and darkness, a battle that had chosen him as its unwilling participant. As the newfound understanding of the cosmos, the echoes of his impoverished past, and the prospects of a life unburdened by want coalesced, he found himself at a precipice. The abyss of the unknown stretched before him, the veiled dance of cosmic entities playing out in a reality far removed from the one he knew. The abyss did not just stare back at him, it beckoned, drawing him in with promises of wealth, knowledge, and an end to his struggles. The quaint town of Chesterfield, once a picture of bucolic simplicity, now bore the spectral air of an otherworldly stage. Its every corner whispered tales of the dark dimensions. Its skies echoed with the silent songs of cosmic travelers. And at the heart of it all, Reverend Hale stood like a beacon, connecting worlds with an ethereal thread. He found himself face to face with the Reverend in the school's cryptic sanctum, the air around them heavy with portents. "Elijah Underwood, you stand on the brink of a new world," Reverend Hale's voice resounded, tinged with a strange fervor. His form shimmered, like a star shrouded in cosmic dust. A choice lay before Elijah. He could expose the truth and face the wrath of an entity beyond human understanding, or he could join them, stepping into the shadows, and gain the life he'd always yearned for. His journalistic instinct screamed for justice, yet the cries of his past echoed louder, drowning the voice of reason. A silence stretched between them, the eye of the storm. The whispering shadows, the unsettling quiet of the sanctum, it all swelled into a symphony of inevitability. A silent accord passed between the journalist and the Reverend. In that moment, under the uncanny illumination of the sanctum, Elijah stepped into the abyss. The choice he made was not just for himself, but for every impoverished soul seeking liberation, every ambitious spirit trapped within the confines of ordinary existence. His surrender to the cosmic horror was not an end, but a metamorphosis. Elijah Underwood, the generous, persistent, and brave journalist, slowly faded into the canvas of cosmic travelers. His final note on his old typewriter read, "The stars above Chesterfield are not the same as they once were, and neither am I." The abyss welcomed him, its monstrous truth revealed and accepted by an earthling. Chesterfield, with its interdimensional whispers and shadowy specters, bore witness to this uncanny transformation, continuing its idyllic existence under the watchful eyes of the cosmos. The tale of the brave journalist from St. Louis who succumbed to the dark allure of cosmic entities was etched into its spectral silence, the cosmic horror forever bound to its existence. We appreciate you tuning in. If you fancied the content, show your support with a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to keep up with our eerie adventures. Eldritch Tales Factory has plenty more to offer. Until next time.